Imagine this. It's a Tuesday. You've just woken up. You reach for your phone to doom-scroll political catastrophe, maybe just watch a video of a cat falling off a shelf. But something is wrong. Terribly wrong. The little Wi-Fi symbol is gone. The cellular bars are empty. Your phone, that sleek portal to the entire world, is now just a very expensive, very dumb clock. You try to refresh your feed. Nothing. You try sending a message. It just hangs there, mocking you with its undelivered status. It's not just your phone, it's your laptop, it's your smart TV, it's everything. The internet, the very invisible fabric that holds our modern lives together, has simply stopped in the entire United States. This isn't just a minor inconvenience. This isn't your grandma unplugging the router to let it rest. This is a full-scale, nationwide digital blackout. And while you're panicking about not being able to order a burrito to your door, a much weirder and more specific kind of panic is setting in for a very particular group of people. The people who have put their faith, and more importantly their money, into the grand experiment of digital currency, specifically Bitcoin. Because if the internet is the global stage for modern life, then Bitcoin is the lead actor in a play that just had its theater collapse into a sinkhole. The first hour is just confusion, people rebooting their routers, calling their internet service providers, getting nothing but a dead tone. By hour 3, the confusion has curdled into genuine panic. The morning commute is a disaster, traffic lights frozen at intersections, an aerial mosaic of gridlock, drivers honking, road rage, GPS is dead, people fumbling with paper maps from glove compartments, gas stations can't process credit cards, pumps are full but payments won't go through, people siphoning gas from cars, it's not even lunchtime yet, it's a beautiful day for anarchy. By the afternoon, second-order effects kick in. Supply chains, fragile and hyper-optimized, are shattered. A truck driver in Nebraska lost with life-saving medicine on board. Supermarket restocking systems fail. Shelves going barren. People grabbing whatever they can. Canned beans, toilet paper. The toilet paper panic returns as people hoard basics. The intricate dance of commerce has stopped, everyone realizing how fragile it all was. Hospitals in a state of emergency. Digital patient records gone. A doctor can't check allergies before surgery, specialists can't coordinate, staff forced to work from fragmented information, doctors relying on terrified patients or family memory. So, let's talk about Bitcoin, the thing your cousin cornered you about at Thanksgiving, calling it the future of finance while you were just trying to get more gravy. Bitcoin is a digital file, it's a line of code in a massive shared public ledger called the blockchain. Think of it like a giant global Google Doc that everyone can see but no one can change without everyone else agreeing. Every transaction is a new entry in this document. It's secured by cryptography, protected by incredibly complex math problems. It's brilliant, it's revolutionary. But it has one single point of failure, the internet. The entire system lives and breathes online. Transactions must be broadcast to nodes around the world. Nodes verify and add transactions to the blockchain. That verification process, mining, keeps the network secure and running. It's decentralized, no single person or government controls it. Yet it's fundamentally a networked system. Without the network, there is no system. Imagine the world's most secure vault with a web door that now returns a 404. In our American internet blackout scenario, what happens to the blockchain? Every Bitcoin node and miner in the United States has gone dark. They've been booted from the global network. The rest of the world keeps chugging. Miners in Germany, China, Brazil continue processing transactions and adding blocks. For the American Bitcoin holder, the world has just stopped. They might have millions of dollars of Bitcoin, an amount that could buy them a lifetime supply of canned beans and toilet paper in this new, chaotic reality. But that value is completely theoretical. It's a number on a screen they can no longer see. They try to open their Coinbase or Kraken app. It won't load. They try to access their hardware wallet software. It can't connect to the network to get the latest blockchain data. Their assets are frozen, not by a government or a bank, but by a silent, invisible wall of digital nothingness. The great promise of being your own bank suddenly comes with a terrible asterisk. Meanwhile, on the global stage, things are getting weird. With a massive portion of the Bitcoin network's hash rate, the total computing power of all miners, suddenly vanishing, the system becomes less secure. The time it takes to mine a new block, which is normally about 10 minutes, would likely slow down. The network would eventually adjust its difficulty to compensate, but in the immediate aftermath, the global Bitcoin network is more vulnerable to a 51% attack, where a single entity or group could potentially seize control of the network. The rest of the world is watching the American blackout not just as a human catastrophe, but as a direct threat to the integrity of their magical internet money. The traders, the day traders, the Wall Street firms that just got into crypto, they are in a special circle of hell. Now let's compare this Bitcoin catastrophe to how old-school money is faring. Cash is king. More than king, it becomes a god. That dusty $20 bill in your wallet, it's suddenly the most powerful financial instrument on the planet. It doesn't need Wi-Fi, it doesn't need a server, it doesn't need a password. You can use it to buy that last can of beans, to pay for gas from a guy with a jerry can, or to bribe a security guard. In a world without digital connections, the most primitive form of transaction technology becomes the most advanced. What about the banks? They're in a strange kind of limbo. On one hand, they are completely paralyzed. ATMs are just big, heavy boxes. Online banking is a fantasy. Credit and debit card networks are down. The entire digital infrastructure that allows trillions of dollars to move around every day has evaporated. So just like the Bitcoin holders, people with money in the bank can't access it electronically. Your bank balance is just as theoretical as a Bitcoin balance. You are, in a very real sense, cut off from your savings. The banks are closed and there's no sign on the door saying when they'll be back. But here is the crucial, monumental difference. Your money in the bank is tied to an institution that has a physical presence and a government guarantee. The bank building is still there. So, with millions of Americans cut off from their digital fortunes, the next question is obvious. Is there a workaround? Can you make Bitcoin work without the internet? The answer is a resounding, sort of. But it requires a level of technical wizardry and MacGyver-like ingenuity that makes it wildly impractical for almost everyone. People would start exploring fringe technologies, concepts that have been sitting in the theoretical dustbin of crypto forums for years. Suddenly, these niche ideas become the last, best hope for accessing frozen funds, and the race to make them work would be on. One of the most talked about solutions is satellite-based transactions. Companies like Blockstream have already launched satellites that broadcast the Bitcoin blockchain to Earth. In theory, if you had a small satellite dish and the right equipment, you could still receive blockchain data. You could see the state of the network. But broadcasting a transaction back up to the network is a much harder problem. It requires more power and more specialized gear. It's a one-way street of information. You could confirm your Bitcoin is still there, but you probably couldn't spend it. It's like being able to see a restaurant menu from space but having no way to actually order the food. Then you have mesh networks. This is where devices connect directly to each other using Bluetooth, using local Wi-Fi. In any crisis, the first casualty is equality, and a nationwide internet blackout would be no different. The event would instantly create a new, brutal class system. First, there are the analog rich. These are the people who have significant holdings of physical assets, cash, gold, silver, other tangible goods. The person with a safe full of $100 bills is suddenly wealthier than the tech billionaire whose entire net worth is tied up in stock portfolios they can't access. The elderly couple who never trusted banks and kept their life savings under the mattress, they're the new financial elite. In this world, liquidity isn't just an advantage, it's a survival trait. Then you have the digitally trapped. This is a massive group, encompassing almost everyone in the middle class and below. Their money exists as numbers in inaccessible bank accounts. Their wealth is in 401ks they can't touch. And of course, this group includes our poor Bitcoin holders. They are asset-rich and cash-poor in the most extreme way imaginable. They might be sitting on a fortune, but they can't use it to buy a bottle of water. This group is the most vulnerable. They are at the mercy of how quickly the system can be restored, and they have the fewest resources to wait it out. Their modern financial security has become a prison. The most affected are, as always, those who are already living on the edge. Low-income families who rely on digital government benefits like SNAP or EBT cards are completely cut off. Their lifeline has been severed. Gig economy workers who get paid through apps have no income and no way to access what they've already earned. The internet wasn't a luxury for them, it was a fundamental part of their economic survival. The blackout doesn't just inconvenience them, it threatens their ability to eat and keep a roof over their heads. They are the first and most tragic victims of this technological failure. Let's say the internet comes back on. A week later, a month later, it flickers back to life. Your phone buzzes with 1,000 notifications, emails, news alerts, frantic messages from loved ones. The world reconnects. For a moment, there is relief. But it's followed by a deep, lasting sense of unease. We have now seen the ghost in the machine. We have stared into the digital abyss, and we now understand how completely dependent we are on it. The world will never feel quite as stable as it did before. The magic trick has been revealed, we've seen all the wires. For the financial world, the reckoning is brutal. The illusion of Bitcoin as unstoppable has been shattered. The Great Blackout's ultimate legacy, a sobering lesson in humility.